New moon intention.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey yo, it's Oddfud here. And Christopher's coming in from Sea Monster YK.
See a monster and I eat it.
And we're here looking at our new moon intention oracle card reading. We use Nicole Pavarotto's book and cards called the Prism Oracle cards. They have all of these colors in them. So we really connect to them as color lovers. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit.
What's the pattern for this one?
So this is rising. So start low and then rise. Okay, and then we'll have to recenter.
I can recenter this too, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, you already moved it. So I figured you would want it over here. Right?
No, I'll move it to the left.
Okay, move it where you want it.
Okay.
All right, so this is Christopher. He's here for all of my new moon readings lately.
I've been doing it.
And this is his reading. So what we're going to find out today for this new moon cycle is what his new moon intention should be, why, how, and the outcome and lesson. So I'm actually going to read that out while he comes back.
Back apes.
So it's what should your new moon intention be? Why is this your intention? How can you best incorporate this intention into your life? And the outcome or lesson for this new moon phase. You ready, Freddie?
Steady Betty.
All right. So let's see. Do you want to flip?
Sure. So we start. Oh, it's rising. So this is the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the first one.
You know it's not all on screen.
Oh wait, I think I zoomed in too far. Hi, thanks for joining.
Welcome, Jowd.
All right, are we all on screen now?
Yeah.
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 Okay. New moon intention.
All right. New moon intention is anger. Checks out.
Okay. That's so weird. I've never gotten anger there. So
No, I've never gotten anger either.
this card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. It's okay to feel angry. But what can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it?
Okay, this feels correct for how I've had anger, not anger at any particular person or any particular thing, but a general sense of a sort of frustrated, what as a young person might have caused me to have like angry outlashings, but now is
Hi, we are 40, basically.
yeah. Oh yeah, hi Uma. Yeah, so but there is a way to take an anger, or sometimes you're really angry that something bad has happened, and then that helps you like knuckle down and do a bunch of really hard work, or you're angry you have to do this terrible thing, and that anger like powers you through.
Right.
So like it is interesting that my intention is anger, but like I've had a lot of like small setbacks in the project I've been working on that have made me a little angry, and so maybe it's just like it's to motivate me for the next 2 weeks to knuckle down and to not use that fire of like this disappointment, this frustration as
Yeah, so he's saying anger as he's saying the next 2 weeks, meaning until the moon is full. So, like, in the intermission, you can explain more about the full moon cycle. And then this says, how can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself and others?
This is the how or the why? Oh, no, this is how.
This is anger.
Oh, okay, got it. Now you're reading it.
And so something that I remembered, not this week, but like I think it was last week or the week before. We've been vlogging this week, so I'm a little like I'm watching myself have some revelations. And the one of the things that I remembered from when I had some group therapy last year was something, and the way he worded it was so, it just got to me, like right to my brain. And he said, isn't anger so tied into depression? And that really got me because I think I could have gone maybe my entire whole rest of my life being like on the verge of depression, like high anxiety, like 90% to depression my whole life. But then once I hit that anger that was really, really angry, I switched right over into depression.
Mm.
And um, so now that whenever I'm experiencing anger, ever since I had that group therapy, I try to think about anger in a different way. Make sure that it doesn't turn into like something very dark inside of me and like try to, like you were saying, just turn it into something more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, how does this anger make me feel? Like, how does that expose my needs and wants that aren't being fulfilled?
So I
And how can I
was,
use it as a powerful
yeah, so I
thing?
was, I have a very interesting relationship with anger. I was um, abused as a kid, right? And I think any person who's gone through trauma and childhood powerlessness from an abusive caretaker will have this anger issue, right? Because you're angry and rightfully so, but it's also always ineffectual anger
Mm.
and you're not allowed to express it, or at least in my experience, in my situation, I was not allowed to express it, but it's not something you can just not express. So instead, it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and you seethe and you get so, and then you explode. And then this becomes the pattern of your life where you get small injustices or small angries with your partner or your boss or your teacher or your coworker or whatever, and you don't express it, and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up until it explodes and you have an outburst. And so I've had to really focus on what anger means to me in my adult life, um, because of that. And I had to renegotiate my relationship with anger
Mm-hmm.
and allow myself to be angry and allow myself to talk about being angry and have it not be this dirty word or this bad thing, because that's how it was always treated. I
Mm-hmm.
was never allowed to be angry. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be like, I'm angry. Of course I'm angry. There's a lot of stuff going wrong. That's fine. It's just a natural emotion. Now I'm going to do something with that.
Mm.
It's like when you're sad, like that's fine. Like rest probably, right? Or
Yeah.
renegotiate your life with yourself. Like what's making you sad?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a dirty word. It's not a bad thing to be sad. Sometimes it's a good thing. It's often a good thing. All right, next one.
Yep.
This is the why, correct?
Yeah. Why is this your intention?
Oh, baby.
All right.
That feels
Perfect.
so real.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace be upon you.
When shining light through a prism, all the colors are revealed in a rainbow. White light is the combination of every color within the visual spectrum working harmoniously together. When this card is drawn, it is an invitation to bring a sense of peace into your life. This may come to you after a period of turmoil as a sign of healing, or you may find it when the mind is quieted during a simple meditation, or when you are taking a moment to just stop and reflect. Open up your heart and let peace come to you.
So this is
Accept this gentle offering of healing and stillness.
so this is an interesting juxtaposition of anger and peace, right? My intention is anger because of peace. So that is kind of what I was just talking about, is that you're keeping the peace, and so you
Mm-hmm.
hold in your anger. Um, I don't think that's exactly what this is. I think my
No.
why is probably a desire for peace instead of a
Mhm.
holding of the peace. I'm not trying
Yeah,
to create
internal
peace.
peace instead of external peace, also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, I think it's time to go on to the next one.
Yeah, it'll clear it up a little bit. And this is
How?
how, and that that card that just came up is faith, so that's like a pretty good one for how. How can you best incorporate this intention into your life?
Yeah. I find, before we talk about this, I find um, the best way for me to move through my anger, not get over it, remember, but move through it, work through it, move through it, in order to achieve peace is with faith,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have faith that you won't let yourself be taken advantage of, and you have faith that the person that you love and trust also loves and trusts you. You have faith that, like, this thing that you're doing and the thing you're working on and putting all your energy in is worth it.
Right.
You have faith in your own decisions. A lot of the time, my anger is because I am questioning my faith. And so it makes sense that my how is faith.
All right, let's see what Nicole says. This card isn't really about belief in a higher power, although if that is part of your practice, you are welcome to infuse it here. It's more about trusting that no matter what, things will be okay. This is an idea that's much larger than yourself or anyone else. Things are moving and shifting all the time, so just keep working toward your goal, whatever it may be, and know that the outcome will lead you exactly where you need to be. Yeah, I think this is great because I think, especially because I think that you haven't like exhibited like, stereotypical anger in the last couple of weeks, but I think that it was definitely teetering on the edge of anger, and you were, um, I feel like there is definitely times that it could have turned into anger if you didn't have faith in people taking care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was like the way that you were speaking, though not angry, it showed signs of like wavering faith and also wavering internal peace.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have been experiencing wavering faith. I, listen, if your faith is incredibly stalwart, like that is unusual,
Yeah,
right? Like
that's nirvana,
everybody
and you're not
has,
supposed to have that.
yeah, everybody has the I used to talk to a lot of priests, and a very common topic of conversation is doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and how doubt is not something that is foreign to the job, but is essential, is central to what it
Mm-hmm.
means to be a priest. You spend all your time thinking and speaking and lecturing on God and faith. Like, of course, you're going to have more doubt. Like, you have more opportunities for doubt, you have more knowledge for doubt. And so, doubt was extremely common. It was a topic regularly discussed.
Yeah, I think this is like, even though we started with anger, I feel like this has so far been such a very calm reading so far.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think, like we said, like my anger is no longer this explosive, like like extremely emotional red mist type of anger. This is more like, hey, I'm angry that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you really early on that I'm angry. I'm not like
Yeah,
this is
express anger early and often.
seriously. All right, let's see
And
the
this,
outcome.
yeah, this is important.
Oh,
Oh.
weird.
All
I mean, feared.
right. Let me. Do you want to talk, or do you want me to read it?
Oh man, the outcome is fear.
Yeah, let me read
So
it.
fear can be
Okay,
a
go ahead.
motivating factor, right? Like everybody, basically, if you're here, if you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this at all, you know that fear is a motivating factor, right? People are afraid to lose their jobs. People are afraid that they won't be able to feed their families. They won't be able to feed themselves. They won't be able to get to work. Fear is an incredibly motivating factor. And you
Sorry.
you can use that fear. That is almost always used against you as the low man on the totem pole.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was just thinking about how the low man on the totem pole is actually the most revered person. And so that expression doesn't actually. Anyway, as the low person on the pyramid, that fear is almost always used against you. The pyramid, the social structure. Um, you can use that fear to motivate yourself. You can harvest the fear of those same things in order to motivate yourself. Now, the problem with that is you have to work through it, right? Like it's if you're going to use fear to be like, well, I'm afraid that if I don't do this, I'm always going to be in this position. So I need to do this thing to get myself out of this position. There's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee with anything, but you're trusting yourself. You're having faith in yourself. Yeah, I can see this. I think fear is a normal, natural, if unpleasant experience.
Let's see. This card is a call to summon the courage to face your fears while honoring them at the same time. Moments like these are often the most definitive in life and act as the greatest teachers and catalysts for positive change. What is it that's holding you back? Why are you afraid? Sitting with these questions will help you tap into your powerful. Wait. Sitting with these questions will help you tap into your power and greatest potential. Acknowledging and moving past your fears can bring you into greater sense of alignment with yourself and the world around you.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I was saying, right? So I'm working for myself right now, and we are very far away from making any actual money with it, and it is scary because when you work a regular job, you make money right away. When you work for yourself, you might put in weeks or months or sometimes years before you start earning any money. The hope is that then that becomes a better life.
Mm-hmm.
The fear is that you fail, but the other fear is that you never do the thing you actually love and want to do because the fear is holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might use anger to motivate yourself in order to achieve peace. You have faith that you can do it, and you learn not be afraid to be it's okay to be afraid of failure. It's okay to think like, oh my god, what I'm doing is crazy, it's terrifying, I'm never going to be the small percentage of people who actually make it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? The people who did make it on their own, the people who did succeed, they also felt that fear.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live with it. You have to work through it. You have to become
Right.
comfortable with that fear if you want to be successful in this crazy type of entrepreneurial adventure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, not only entrepreneurial, but also like um
artistic,
yeah,
even.
like being like choosing your own adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Um because a lot of entrepreneurs do not choose their own adventure at all.
Yeah, that is true too. There are different types
Mm-hmm.
of entrepreneur. I was using it in the more classical, like theoretical example where somebody invents a thing and then creates a business around it that hasn't existed before, right? That's like the platonic entrepreneur, not like the modern sense of the word, who can often be somebody who invests in a project that's already successful. And
Something that I think is a really big theme in this reading, which might go unseen by a lot of people, but this is showing a lot of the theme being we are not alone, right?
Mm.
It is rare to have anger unless there's other people. It is rare to need peace unless there's other people. Faith, not being alone, is a big part of faith. And then fear can also come with like how other people
That's really
um,
interesting.
interact with you.
So I see it more as through the lens of society, which is other people, but it's a faceless mass.
Mm.
And when I interact with society, I do it alone or
Mm-hmm.
with you, my wife, but in a sense, alone. So I read this as a very solitary um, reading.
Yeah, I think you might want to have some curiosity about how it is with when it comes to interacting with other people. Like, does this mean that you need to forgive people that you're angry at? Does this mean that you need to no longer fear people that you fear? Like, having peace with other people is not always like a smooth thing, but and sometimes it's going to involve anger, but like maybe peace with people that maybe we don't have peace with
Yeah,
is something that we
I
could
I try to
explore.
always strive to create peace. Even if I disagree with somebody, I don't like them, I don't want anything to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
I want peace with them. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be angry or fear them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Right.
I like this. There's no
It's very straightforward. I find that our new moon intentions tend to be straightforward, and
eh,
that's great.
what's K in sign language? That
Yeah, because like P or whatever is upside down. Um, yeah, I think this is good. I think sometimes the full moon release has a little bit more. I'm gonna shuffle over here under the.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll reach. I guess it will. Yes, you shuffle. You want to describe what how shuffling goes?
Yeah, what? No, what do you mean reach? Oh,
You want to describe how shuffling goes?
I will. But when you come back from that, you can describe the moon cycles and everything and then read the page where it says new moon intentions. So what I'm doing now is what you should do before your readings every time. You should be touching every single card. Make sure that you have a connection with every card and every card has a connection with you. So that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, so let's read the new moon intentions.
Well, first explain like the moon cycles.
Is that in the book or just off my head?
Just off your head.
So the moon cycles, right? The moon cycles for every 28 days, you go from a full moon back to a full moon. So that means every 2 weeks, you go from a full moon to a new moon or from a new moon to a full moon. So it's really interesting. I think I didn't really understand this. I thought you sort of like it's just something that's so ubiquitous you don't generally I didn't really get it, right? So you have the moon and then it you have like the moon and then it disappears slowly and then it reappears in the opposite direction. So the crescent will point in different directions depending on if it's waxing or waning, waning being it disappearing and waxing being it reappearing. It's blocked by the shadow of the earth, just in case you wanted to know why it disappears. So it's still there. We just can't see it. The sun is not hitting it. But the moon, just like it affects the tides, has been widely thought throughout history and even into modern times by many people to affect people's people and their mood, their lives, everything. And so with this reading, we have the new moon intention, which is from the new moon, while it grows back into the full moon, what you are trying to accomplish, what you are trying to take on, things you are trying to move towards. So I will read the new moon intention. The new moon intention. Working with the moon can be incredibly powerful, and aligning your practice with the moon cycles is a great way to tap into nature's rhythm. The new moon or dark moon is a great time for setting intentions and goals. It marks the beginning of a phase which the moon grows in its illumination, which is ideal for watching your intention grow. This spread can be done on the new moon or the day before or after the new moon. What should be your new moon intention be? What should your new moon intention be? Why is this your intention? These are the cards. What should be your what should your new moon intention be? Why is this your intention? How can you best incorporate this? And what will be the outcome or the lesson for this moon phase?
All right, because I shuffled the cards and I touched all the cards and I felt the cards. This is my reading. Yeah, so when you think about the full moon and the new moon and the cycle it goes through, the the new moon is kind of like empty, and this is like what you can fill it with, right? Is this okay?
Well, it's you can't see it. You've moved it so it's all blocked.
So what is all blocked?
All the cards.
Can you move it then? Do you want to move it like this?
Yes. That's good.
Yeah, that's the easiest way, right, to move it.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is my new moon intention. This is frustration.
So this is a red card.
Yes. No, it's an orange card.
Oh, that frustration has an orange feel. You ever met anybody and they said their favorite card was orange? It's frustrating. Their favorite card, their favorite color. For some reason, despite all your best efforts, you aren't able to achieve what you're working toward. And that's frustrating. Instead of getting angry or disappointed, take a step back or a break from whatever is going on. What are some alternative approaches to the situation? Is there a solution that you haven't tried yet? Would a new perspective help you find a solution?
That's interesting. I don't believe that I'm particularly frustrated lately, but that I experience frustration regularly. I like what it says about a new point of view and like a new what is the problem?
Did you turn it? It's all my legs. I thought I moved it so it was really good. What did you change?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do you want it off of your legs? Is that better, Bennett?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, good. So I don't feel like I have a lot of frustration when it comes to my like achieving my goals and stuff
Mm-hmm.
because I think over the course of the past 5 years, especially, whoop, um, over the course of the past 5 years, I have felt a lot of frustration, and then instead of thinking like, oh, I'm never achieving my goals, I'm never achieving my goals, I just consider myself someone with like lots of ongoing goals at all times. And like maybe I'm moving a little bit forward on this one and then I stop and I don't get to the end and then I move a little bit forward on this one. And as long as I'm moving forward, I've been like overall feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm like I'm one bad feeling away from like falling apart most of the time, right? So I think it's really important to remember that I've thought of this for myself already.
Right. Right. And
And
yeah, and frustration can also be, to be frustrated is originally an outside thing. It's to be blocked or stopped from doing something that you're trying to do.
mhm,
And so I think a lot of the time we talk about frustration in modern terms as a feeling of not being able to do something. But I think also you have to remember that like that feeling comes from a place, and that that is a good place to start when you think about frustration, to think about why or where it's coming from. Um, yeah,
yeah, I think it's possible that like even over the next 2 weeks that there's going to be some changes. I we just had a craft fair yesterday, and so I'm gonna be switching gears to something a little bit different. But I still have a craft fair coming up in July, so I need to keep on thinking about that. And I'm always like low level frustrated about how little I've done for craft fairs and art shows and whatnot.
for sure.
And I think it's
Oh, we have a art show coming up.
yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking that I would switch gears to the art show. Maybe I'll do some crafting first and then work on the art show piece.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Like, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe the cards will tell me more.
right.
So let me see what my why is.
Yeah, this will be important.
Reflection. So this is the third time in like 2 months that I've gotten reflection. So let's see.
I feel like I don't get a ton of repeats. Some say that certain people or situations in your life act as mirrors that reflect back at you and teach you. What that mirror reveals can act as a source of inspiration, encouraging you to move forward. You may not like what you see, giving you the opportunity to make some important changes in your life. This card is a reminder of the importance of taking time to reflect and partake in some deep self-inquiry. What are the mirrors in your life trying to show you? And what can you learn from them?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this card. I keep on getting it and I don't understand it. And like I feel like I self-reflect all the time
Yeah.
and
The description of the card is very explicitly about being reflected from other people.
mhm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really get that cuz like I don't feel like people understand me.
Yeah. Sometimes the closest I get to feeling this way is when I'm thinking or talking about something somebody else does, and that gives me clarity on something that I do. But yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Disruption.
Like this shocking pink color, this card demands attention. It represents intensity, innovation, and nonconformity. It is a catalyst for releasing fear in order to make bold and courageous moves. What is stagnant in your life that needs to change? How can you shake things up a bit? How can you continuously innovate your life in unexpected and productive ways?
Yeah, so I've been recently thinking, like I just said, that like I have all these things and I'm like moving forward a little bit on these different things, and I feel like that's like very disruptive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of my superpower that I can um pivot
Yeah.
very
And
easily.
pivot and pivot between a carousel of things that you keep coming back to, because
Mhm.
I can pivot very easily, but if I pivot too early or too often, I
Mhm.
am abandoning things forever.
Yeah.
And you do not. You often come back to things that you want to continue with.
Yeah, if I want to, exactly. If I can pivot away from something I don't want to do anymore and pivot towards thing like I keep on revisiting and revisiting. So like I think that's a good thing, and I think that's great for me. I've had a lot of um reasons to need to pivot like quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been able to roll with those punches. I think if this is what I've been doing, pivoting and pivoting, pivoting, and all these things, maybe it's time for a bigger pivot,
Yeah, I
a
think,
bigger disruption.
yeah.
But yeah, I sometimes I struggle with my intention cards because I feel like it's like with the release cards, it's talking about like what has happened and what you need to like say thank you to, what you can say goodbye
Right.
to, and this is like saying what you should say hello to, and I often don't understand them until later
Right.
in
Until
the
the end of the week
yeah,
or the first week or even at the full moon reading.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really interesting because often your readings are a bit opaque. And I feel like my readings are very much like, here's the plan, boss. And your readings are very much like, have you thought about like doing a thing? And
yeah,
it's
and
interesting how different they are.
that's kind of how we are too.
Oh,
Like,
for sure. I need that direct
mm,
type of interpretation. And maybe that's what my mind is doing, is just directly interpreting them.
right. I think I'm ready to see the lesson, even though I feel a little shaky about these
Well,
cards
maybe the
already.
lesson will illuminate. Illumination. Is it a white
No,
card?
it's isolation.
Oh
It's the
my.
divorce card. All
What the hell?
right, let's see. The outcome and lesson of all of this is isolation, which is very surprising to me because I always feel, especially with reflection and what we talked about with reflection,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then like I feel like this is talking about relationships and how I fit in with other people and how other people fit in with me. So I wonder what isolation is.
Well, remember, a lot of the time, one of these cards doesn't mean that this will be the thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's this is the strong, like emotional or magical resonance that is surrounding it. So sometimes your outcome is isolation, meaning like be careful when you are isolating yourself or something. Well, let's read it. Being isolated can feel lonely, but it can also be tremendously healing. When you're feeling secluded, it can be a time to learn more about yourself, to dive down deep into the parts of yourself that you can't reach when you are around others, and learn the importance of some time alone. Give yourself the chance to heal and to rediscover yourself. Okay, so maybe this is why reflection is so hard for you, is because maybe you are not reflected in other people.
That's what I'm saying,
And
brah.
maybe you need to be reflected in yourself.
Yeah, I feel like other people just they come short.
Yeah, I mean, I know there there are some reflective properties with me. We can bounce emotional states or life goals or whatever off of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be illuminating, enlightening. It can help us understand each other. But I can also get that from many other people. And I do think it's really hard for you to get that.
Um, Everybody sucks though.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I'm like, man, this person sucks. Do I suck like that? A little bit. All right, work on yourself, bub.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I shuffled wrong.
Well, what's your aura card?
Yeah, let me take an aura card and see if that helps this. Illumination.
I've been saying illumination a lot. Yeah,
I like how illumination and disruption look together.
yeah. What a reading.
I hate this. I don't want this at all. I wanted it to be like be productive, keep moving, trust yourself.
Those are mine.
And I like
That's been like every reading of mine for the last 6 weeks.
this is just not working. This isn't working for me. But like let's see how the next couple of weeks unfold for me.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you feeling that way is very much in line with what the cards are saying. So that's also part of it.
Sure.
All right. Let me go get the third in the thruple.
Yeah. So I'll talk more about shuffling and how to accurately shuffle. So when you shuffle, you should be listening to your heart and listening to the cards and how your cards interact with yourself and like your soul. And when you're shuffling through, like be very quiet as possible, and like really try to listen and see if there's any kind of pull that the cards are telling you. So after you shuffle and you hear the pull, maybe your heart says something, maybe you actually feel something physical from the cards, maybe you hear something that tells you to stop. Then you stop, and and that's the order of the cards. And now you put them into three. You cut them into three, and then you might have seen I was like really feeling the cards like this. And then that's when you pick which of the three you put it back together into one. But you think about what direction or what order they should be in. So that's how you shuffle the cards. We have Carl here.
We're going to tell him exactly how to shuffle the cards again.
Yes. So go ahead and just touch every card. You want to close the door to
Oh, yes, please.
give us some privacy? What?
A little privacy, Wadsworth.
Yeah, do you want to sit here?
No,
Okay.
I'll sit in the squeaker.
So Carl is an old friend.
Yeah.
How far back do you guys go?
20-something years. Halo 2.
Yeah, 20,
Yes.
Halo 2.
Since Halo 2.
24 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think I was 21 when I met Carl.
That sounds right. I just bought my 07 Wrangler. Right, so I was about 18, 19 when I did that.
Did you have the Wrangler? I thought you had.
Yeah.
No, you still had the Cherokee.
Oh, I saw the blue. I love that blue Cherokee.
And Carl is a
Without the
believer. Like,
In Bieber. He's a believer.
he's a believer. Like, maybe even more so than us in sometimes.
Yeah, so you touch every card, you put your intentions into the cards.
Yeah.
Then you shuffle until you
Feel like you're ready to pick a card. That's how I do it.
feel like you're ready to stop shuffling.
Mm-hmm.
Then you cut it into three.
Yeah, so what the shuffle does, that
Calibrates it.
says the order that the cards are going to live in, right? And then you do the cut. So tell me when you feel like your heart's telling you to stop shuffling.
Yeah. Don't rush it. Just feel it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk more about the moon, about colors.
Yeah, so colors are super interesting to us. So there's a bunch of different types of color theory. Um, one type of color theory deals with the emotions that people have when they see certain colors. And this is
You want to shuffle on screen a little bit?
If you call this shuffling, this is more
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
This is more like gently allowing them
Just
to
to-
re-rack and
Just
fall
to
into
give
place.
the
Just to
viewers
make
something
sure
to
that
look
they
at.
see I'm touching all the cards.
No, you
don't.
No.
But
Just
like the idea is to
listen.
make sure.
shush and listen.
listen.
Okay,
To give the people who are watching something to look at.
gotcha.
That is what it is for.
Yeah, just shuffle to shuffle and do it on screen to do it on screen. For instance, so now this is obviously not true for every person, but in society, there are some things that do become true for a majority of people. So there was one color theory that said like a certain shade of pink makes people calm. And like that wasn't really shown to be true. But what can be true is you can associate certain colors with certain things. So like, and that can be societal, and that can generate a feeling. Not, you can't like control people, you can't make people calm, but you might draw someone's attention. If you see red, we know societally that means danger or that means stop. If you see yellow, we know societally that means caution or that means like pay attention, right? Even though like the most visible color is actually a type of mint green. We don't use mint green for danger or we don't use mint green for caution, even though that would be the most easy to see color in scientific theory. Societally and socially, we know it's red or yellow, and it would be so hard to change that. And so that's color theory. That's part of societal color theory.
Can I
Okay.
pick the first one?
No,
I'm
you
ready.
cut
No.
it into three.
So now cut it into three. Just put 3 piles in front of you.
Any
Okay.
size.
But don't continue to shuffle. Yeah. So now I want you to have an internal talk with the cards.
Okay.
So you did the order already, and now you're gonna see where your reading is gonna come from today. So think about that, and then put them in a full pile.
Yeah, place them back in whatever order feels the most correct to you.
Mm-hmm.
It can be exactly how you cut them. It could be completely different. It does not matter.
Yeah.
It's whatever feels most right.
When I do that cut, I almost always forget like which one was on top and which one was on the bottom anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now we'll.
Now I'll draw you.
Okay, so now this is Carl's reading. Carl the human.
So the real reason we do, I'll explain it to Carl. I explained it before. The reason you do this on the new moon is because the moon today, right now, is invisible to us because the Earth is casting an entire shadow on the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what this means is now, over the next 2 weeks, it'll slowly be unveiled. And that helps you connect with that and unveil this for yourself so that your intentions will manifest on the moment of the full moon and get stronger and stronger. It gives you something to align with.
Cool. Should I flip them? Which one's which
All
order?
right. So this, Amy Man the book.
Sure thing.
So this is your new moon intention. So what you want to fill your life with, or like thoughts of this
Mhm.
for the next 2 weeks at least. Energy,
Good one. Red, orange.
orange.
Freaking orange.
I also got an orange card. He was also mad about it for some reason.
Like,
When this card appears, it asks, oh, do you want to say anything about energy before I start?
Yeah, how do you feel about energy coming into your life?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could always use more energy.
When this card appears, it asks you to pay attention to the energy that you've either recently cultivated or would like to cultivate. Tap into the momentum of something that you've been working on. Get excited about a new project or even a seemingly mundane task like cleaning your home.
Or editing. I was gonna say.
Now is
that.
the time to pursue whatever has been calling to you.
Oh, that is so great.
But an
Like
amazing intentional card.
We were just talking about how you had a spark. You had a hard month. We don't have to dwell on that, but like a month ago, in some videos that we have, you had a spark where you're like really excited.
Mhm.
And we want to get that spark back.
100,
So
100%.
that'll be good for the energy. So now this is why. Why do you need to put energy into your life this time? Pain.
Oh wow.
Wild. These
This
cards,
is a red.
they always attack me.
This
So,
is not
like
an
not
attack.
like attack, but like they're just like, we see you.
Yeah.
Right?
Like every time
Yeah,
this
I think-
happens, I just get like, they're like, pink. I
Yeah, so this is the why you would need to put energy into your life is pain. And I think there's an easy and straightforward reason that might be. Right?
Like,
Like
that's all it was last month was pain, right? Like it was just
mm,
a month of pain, 5 weeks or something like that. It was wild.
and so this, you know, putting new energy in can help you overcome hard feelings, and
Yeah.
pain can feel like it's bigger than us. And it can come to us in many forms. It could be a physical, emotional, or psychological manifestation. Remember that after pain comes healing. How can you find healing and be gentle with yourself at this moment? So I think this
Yeah.
is extremely straightforward. We literally
Yeah.
were just talking about how
Mhm.
Carl had gone through a lot of pain.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have
No,
anything
that
else
was,
you want to say
I
about
agree
it?
with that. That was
Yeah, I think
dead
it's
on. I'm seen already. Let's see how hard I'm seen. Let's see how I'm
Yeah.
seen.
So this is
so-
how you want to put new energy into your life in order to not necessarily overcome, but because of the pain.
Yeah. Oh,
Second, oh no, that's not orange.
I think it is orange. Rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Rejection. So this is how. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
So this
for
is
you.
how you will put energy into your life in order to what we decided was overcome pain or to
Mhm.
heal from pain.
Yeah.
So what does rejection mean to you in that
Yeah.
sense?
Triage of things that don't spark joy.
Triage is a great term for
Yeah.
rejection, because I think it really shows that rejection is not this blanket term, right? But it is a choice. It is sometimes a very hard choice between sometimes things you need to save or you want to hold on to.
Yeah.
But you have to
Sometimes
make a choice.
Sometimes it's between the very best thing that you could be doing and the second very best thing you can do it. You could
Mhm.
be doing, and you have to reject the second best thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so hard because that's still something you want to do. It's still something that would be so good for you, and you can see all the positives for.
Right.
So it's like making those kinds of choices is really difficult, but being able to reject that and have the confidence to reject things is so powerful. It makes sure that you get something, even if you reject the best thing and you go after the second best thing. At least you're not just in a standstill, going back and forth.
There's a psychological study that shows that people will hold on to the ability to make a choice, even if choosing either thing would actually be beneficial and more beneficial than being able to choose the two, right? So it'll basically be like, you have to choose between doing this job or that job, and you work both part-time. And if you worked either one full-time, your life would be better. But because you don't want to make the choice, you continue to work both part-time, and your life is worse because of that. And it's just because people don't want to make the choice. Now that's a simplified example.
Schopenhauer,
I don't know.
right? Like the dog will die rather than choose which food to eat.
Yeah, this is real. This is a real thing that humans do on a regular basis. And I know about it. I think about this a lot, and I still do this to myself. A story about rejection is I was working these jobs and I was not doing the things I loved, which was illustration and learning to draw and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I have to work. Like, what am I going to not work these jobs? Even like, this is who I am, right? This is the thing I can contribute to my partnership in my marriage, was working and doing these jobs and having some extra money and making our lives easier. And I had to reject that. And it was very hard to stop doing that and spend all that time and energy on this thing that did make our lives a little bit harder for a time, but now is extremely rewarding. I am an illustrator. So let's get rejection down. That's right. That was not a bad transition.
Yeah, so good.
No, that was good.
Try to reframe the pain of rejection and consider that whatever you've rejected wasn't meant to be part of your life at this time, whether that be a person, a job, or something else. Some even say that rejection is protection. So even though it may really hurt right now, know that something better is waiting for you. Trust that whatever is meant for you is on its way. So I think that's similar to what we've said. I
And
think
my last reading also had protection near the end of it when we did like the checkup one.
Mm.
Protection was the fourth one that led to faith was the final one.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, are we ready for the last card? I feel
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
so I
that
just
makes
wanted to
sense.
say, I
I think
think
I've already been like triaging and sorting through the things that aren't helping.
Yeah, I think the way they spoke of rejection in the card has a little bit less intention,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that I think that can also be true, right? You're not always the one who's choosing what is being rejected.
Right.
Mhm.
Sometimes life makes that choice for you, just like when a partner breaks up with you. That is a rejection that life has chosen for you.
Mhm.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I'd argue that if a partner breaks up with you, you're better off without that partner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't want to be with you. Somebody who doesn't want to be with you. And that can be true of a job or
Mhm.
a hobby or anything. I am ready if you guys are.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and look that one.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay. I
Oh.
was thinking that word in my head.
Yay.
It's funny. I usually make a guess on the final one at least, but
Mhm.
I made a guess on the first one today by accident. Not by accident.
All right. So he got creativity for the outcome.
Creativity. Do you have anything to what does
That's
this
what
mean
I
to you in
wanted
this reading?
Just keep following the path. This whole path that I've chosen has been built around creating things and
Mhm.
not just being another brick in the wall, so to say, is how I felt, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like you revealed to us that you felt a creative block lately
Yeah.
in the last couple of weeks, which is totally fine. It's often good to have a block and get over. And then hopefully if you go through these steps, you will get back your spark that we were talking about.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
like an insane reading.
As Fatima mentioned, it is sometimes good to have a creative block. I totally agree. If you lose your creativity for a period of time and then get back to it, that proves to yourself that it's coming back.
Mhm.
You gain a sense of faith, a sense of
Courage.
courage, and a sense of like ability and trust in your own ability to create. Something that Fatima and I talk about pretty often is that if you cultivate your creativity, it allows you to be less precious with everything you create because you just know I will create more.
Mhm.
And if I'm focused and I'm good and I keep doing it, I will create better.
Mhm.
There's no reason to not.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there wasn't only one Mona Lisa, right?
Yes, exactly. There wasn't only one Mona Lisa. There was 5 Mona Lisas. If Da Vinci didn't paint just the Mona Lisa, like we would still be amazed by all of his other. It would be a different painting that we were reverent of.
Mhm.
Like Da Vinci painted more than anybody else, and like that wasn't even his job. His job was a designer of defenses for cities, and so like think about that. He had so much creativity that he did it as his hobby, he did it as his job, he did it in everything. He did it. So like, yeah, let's go. We all have the capacity to be creative and express ourselves. Don't shy away from engaging in creative acts and pursuits. When you're feeling inspired, it's important to embrace that magic, spark, and excitement and enjoy the creative process.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah, it's rare. It's not. It's it's good to know that they say spark in that too, because I've been saying spark all day.
Mhm.
The reason I was thinking of creativity is even though creativity is a purple card and it's like more related to like your intuition and how you relate to the higher powers, your orange chakra is also very connected to your creativity and like your kind of like your basal needs and basal desires for creativity. So if you're able to flip to the the orange cards in
Oh
the
yeah,
reading.
he had the most orange cards, right?
Yeah.
The most orange
Fucking
cards of
orange.
anyone's ever had.
Yeah.
Fucking orange.
Freaking orange. I was talking. It was like, what if somebody said their favorite color was orange? You'd be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Banned.
Do you mean fruit?
Yeah. Orange. That's not a color. That's a plant. It's a tree. If mostly orange cards come up during a multi-card reading, that's this.
Said multi-card.
It is a sign to really tap into joy and playfulness
Playfulness.
during this period in your life. Orange is full of energy. I was thinking about the fruit, which can be invigorating, but also overstimulating. How are these energies emerging in your life right now?
Mm.
Are you feeling excited? Or is the energy feeling a little too intense? If
Interesting.
it's too intense, take a moment to release that energy with a sense of play. Now is the time to take a moment and celebrate all the joy that is apparent within your life in all the forms that it takes.
Mm.
It's interesting because the citrus terpene is associated with happiness as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a weird connection. But
Yeah, well, it's not weird. It's totally it tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is if you could listen to this every day of your life, like energy is good, your abilities, your capabilities, good, all good things. You don't have to do all of them. You have to reject some.
yeah,
You cannot do all of them actually.
No.
Yeah.
And so if you think about like what takes away pain or what adds more creativity to your life, because creativity is one of your core values,
Mhm.
and you should be
Nurturing.
nurturing it as much as possible. And then like the kind of workhorse other part of your life that you do, like you can kind of let that go a little bit more.
Like many people, I think, and maybe everybody at certain points in their life, Carl overextends himself with
everything.
responsibilities
Yeah.
and often responsibilities and favors to others,
Yeah.
and trying to focus on bettering other people instead of focusing on working with himself.
Yeah.
And this is a common thing in our society these times. I think we're taught that, or we at least were taught that. Hopefully the new generations see that it's often a scam in order to extract value and work and life from people.
From subordinates.
From subordinate, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
and like subordinate shouldn't even be a word.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of parents will over extract your life and your value from you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bosses will do this.
Mm-hmm.
We've
Companies.
all had bad companies, like companies you don't work for, just
Yeah.
companies, right? Like
Mhm.
if you have an app that gives you a discount on something,
Yeah.
they're gonna sap your attention. They're gonna steal. They're gonna do whatever it takes, whether that's detrimental to you or not, and it's always detrimental to you,
Mhm.
in order to get you to spend money with them.
Yeah.
And you need to be hyper vigilant about, not hyper, you need to be constantly vigilant about this stuff because it's so easy to overextend yourself and to give yourself away in today's society. And so,
Yeah. So
Yeah, that was
don't hustle for this anymore. Hustle for this.
Mhm.
yeah, do you want to pull an aura card?
Whoa.
Just
So you can take
Any card.
any card, just pull
whatever
it without,
feels right.
yeah,
Pull it like an idiot.
that's, yeah, for sure. There you go. Let's see it.
space.
Wow, what a
That's
good one.
perfect. So like space from people, space in your environment.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that like you can have as much energy as you want as long as you have the space.
I need space to process it.
Yeah, so like the electrons aren't hitting other people, things like
Mhm.
that. I think
You
that's
may
great.
feel alone and like you can get lost here, but it is important to remember that you can fill this space. This is so, I'm going to stop halfway because it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
This is like we were talking, right? When you give yourself away and when things are constantly trying to take from you, you make yourself small
Mm-hmm.
as a natural and important defense mechanism. And it is important to remember that if you get rid of that stuff, your life won't be empty. You yourself will fill that space.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're like,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that you are looking to fill your life with? Is it certain types of people, a new project? How can you take action towards your goal? The void is only temporary space and it's ready to be filled.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like when you give yourself the space, when you move a plant, a tiny plant into a new pot, it's filled with this empty space,
Yeah.
but it's only for so long. That plant thrives in the new area
Yeah.
and takes over and becomes more of itself. And that is true of people too.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give yourself the space to grow, to learn, to do the things you want to do, you will fill that space with more of yourself.
Right.
You will grow and become more. And that's so important. So good.
Right. If the acorn falls directly down from the oak tree, it cannot grow. It has
Exactly.
to roll around and go somewhere else.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. That was great. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yeah, our pleasure.
I know I kind of interrupted your work day, and I apologize, but
Oh, it's fun.
I think this is important too.
Yeah, we would have done this anyway, so why
That's
not?
true. Yeah.
Shoot for one. eh?
So we wanted to do this close to when the moon was at its newest, which was at 3:31 today. It is 4:49, so we've been here for a while. But thanks so much for watching,
Bye.
and we'll see you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
I love when you do that. It's like I'm not biting the